I loved the collective wisdom of all of the people who testified.
Runoff elections are sort of a huge pain.
A lot of the times people have to settle. People have to choose for the lesser of two evils when they vote. It's tiresome, it suppresses voter morale, and it's extremely discouraging.
Second election in the season of the holidays is going to create a drop-off in people.
We know that we need to have the voter participation, and we also know that the second time around on the runoff that we have a dramatic plummet in the amount of participation.
RCV would not be a dramatic change to our present runoff system, as some have claimed.
I think RCV is simply the most effective and efficient, especially monetarily, way to implement the will of the people.
Compressing the election to one day is the most respectful and efficient use of voters' time and taxpayer money.
Money is what I want to talk about. And from what I understand, we could either spend somewhere between $290,000 on a runoff election, or we could spend $1 million, or the option I like best is nothing.
Let's honor, for those of you who pride themselves on fiscal responsibility, vote for this. It's a no-brainer. It's fiscally responsible.
Just want to comment that on average, cities that implement ranked choice voting have an increase in turnout of 10% over cities that have not implemented ranked choice voting. It encourages voting. It doesn't depress turnout.
Ranking someone, my preference of vote seems a lot easier than getting my taxes done, and frankly, I find a little offense that we're so worried about how we're going to teach the community about this. I mean, it really is, whether it is in Spanish or in English, it's as easy as uno, dos, tres.
So there are your 5 flavors: cherry, orange, pineapple, raspberry, and watermelon. Since we had heard concerns that seniors might have a hard time understanding RCV, we asked folks to indicate their age on the ballot as well. In all, we collected 91 ballots from folks between the ages of 5 and 85. And what we learned from doing this is that not only are voters of all ages able to figure it out, but most of them like it a lot.
Of all the reasons to support ranked choice voting, one stands out in my mind, and that is I've always been concerned about the concept of vote splitting.
People can vote for their favorite candidate without worrying that it might end up with the candidate that they sure don't want to win.
Another reason why ranked choice voting is a wonderful option to young people is because we want to see candidates seek out not just their first choice candidate, but also being okay with being the second choice candidate. Seek out a broader base of supporters. And we want to see that. Young people want to see candidates reach out to us, not just their constant voter populace, but also the new voters.
One thing that's already been shown in the city of Santa Fe is that during campaign season, the amount of negative campaigning that goes on in campaigns drastically is reduced under a ranked choice voting system. This is healthy for democracy. That way we're not treating each other like mortal enemies, but just having different opinions on the floor of politics.
Whereas ranked choice voting brings out civility, which I think we need a lot more of in our democracy. And that might take care of the voter apathy, too.
I have family in St. Paul. I have friends in Minneapolis, and they love ranked choice voting.
The state of Maine has gone so far as to elect their congressional representatives by ranked choice voting. And I don't think of Maine as a radical place.
25 years ago, myself and another band of Green Party members had as part of their platform IRV, instant runoff voting. That's a quarter of a century ago in '94. We were asking, we had talked with some city councilors about instant runoff voting at that time. This is not a new idea.
A strong democracy requires the willingness to evaluate and improve the way that we make the voice of the people heard.
I deeply believe that Albuquerque should show leadership in adopting election laws that lead to more representative outcomes.
And to say, oh no, we can't do this, voting is important, but the voters decided and told you already that they wanted a majority. This is just another way to get the majority vote.
What I wanted to touch on today is this concern about whether there's enough time to educate the voters on this. I led the effort in Santa Fe in partnership with the city to get that voter education campaign going. We had about 8 weeks to do it, and we got it done in Santa Fe. in a very successful way. 65% of the voters in Santa Fe marked all 5 rankings on their mayoral ballot, which shows me that people really got it, right? People got into the concept of ranking their candidates. And we did see a 10% voter turnout increase.
People have figured out better ways of doing democracy. Let's honor that. And by the way, there's no system created that takes away the inherent advantages that incumbents have. Ranked choice voting won't do that. You're all safe.
Call your counselor and tell them that you completely want this thing put on the ballot. And even forget about amendments if possible. Let's just put it on the way it was written and have a vote. You can call the other city councilors as well. And I would recommend you call them from around. We need to flood the phones. We need to hit the emails. Santa Fe and Las Cruces already have ranked choice voting. This is not controversial anymore. It's only amongst these donkey fans that they perceive a problem. Thank you very much for watching this video. I care deeply about this issue and I feel like this is critically important. Please consider becoming one of my Patreons at www.patreon.com/duopoly report and become one of my $5 a month contributors or more. And actually you can contribute less if you can't contribute $5 a month. But every dollar that you help support me with gives me more time to bring a quality product out to you. By the way, good news, we're over 100 YouTube subscribers, so I now have a customized YouTube URL at www.youtube.com/c/The Duopoly Report. And that all happened because you subscribed to my YouTube channel and you told your friends to subscribe to your YouTube channel. Please continue to do that. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, I will be able to do a lot more good things than I'm even doing now. Have a good day.